So hi, my name is Nitin, and today we are here at Mumbai at RICS Investment Summit, and we are here with our guest today, Mr. Balaji Badrinath, who is also an MRICS, who is working as area developer for Cold Well Banker. So welcome.
Thank you, Nitin.
Thank you for giving your time today. So as we try and start with the discussion, please help us introduce yourself with the background, how you actually happen to land in the real estate sector, and what are you doing?
Sure. Thank you so much. I'm grateful to attend this event. It's a fantastic event, great panelists, and lot of insights about real estate today. My name is Balaji Badrinath. I own and run the operations for Coldwell Banker South India. Coldwell Banker is an American-based brokerage firm, and it's present in over 45 plus countries with over 1 lakh plus agents worldwide. Based out of US, and I run the franchise and transactional operations for them in entire part of South India. So how do I come to real estate? Yes, I started my career in sales and been worked with companies such as ICICI Prudential, Cholamandalam, selling a lot of insurance and things like that. Then came to real estate by accident. Because real estate lacked a lot of professionals. Even today, real estate is a fragmented industry. So a lot of people were looking for professional advice, and that's how I thought it's a give back to the society. People wanted professional advice, and I want to give professional delivery of services. That's how I came to real estate. It's been wonderful. About 14-15 years in the real estate industry, and been with Coldwell Banker for about more than 13 years today.
Sure. That's a wonderful area and the journey that you covered up. So when we talk about your current setup, what exactly are the services that you offer? Because there is a misconception, there are very limited roles for a professional to look at certain opportunities in the sector. So help us understand what are the roles that you play in your current setup that you have.
So as I said, people appreciate professional delivery of services. So our first motto is to deliver world-class experiences to the common man in India. So that's the motto. Keeping that motto as a baseline, the services which we provide is typically a brokerage services, a consulting, the advisory of people who want to buy, sell, rent assets across the region. So how do we do it? We have our own network, and we are building our own network. And predominantly the sales are always driven by the partners. So partners or affiliate partners or the franchise partners who take part in building the business in their locality, and being grounded in the hyper local market, and they know the customers, so they know how to deliver a world class experience. So we are here to help them in terms of bringing back the world class experience what the Westerners used to practice, and tweak in here to manage the Indian style of experience, and then that's how it's been done across our region.
Sure. So again, a lot of work profiles that you brought out, and I'm sure there are a lot of skills needed in that context. Starting with doing the research, probably to doing the customer interaction, stakeholder management, to be able to deliver those reports in terms of the transactions which are happening and so on. So if you can explain certain engagements during the work with a sample reference of one of the projects, that will really help in terms of understanding how the grade goes in terms of. So help us understand through the example or a case study reference, wherein we can understand what are the various skill set which is required or are being used on a day-to-day projects that you work on.
So the primary skill set, what I believe, is listening to the customer's requirements. The requirements could vary from client to client. Like a developer would have a different set of requirement of acquiring a land and putting up a project. Likewise, the landowner would have a different set of requirements, like monetizing the land immediately or monetizing the land after maybe 3 or 5 years. Maybe the end user or the investor will have a different set of requirements. So the basic skill set in this profession, especially what we would like to make our partners practice, is the listening. The listening skill is what we say. The giving the in-depth understanding of what kind of requirements these set of clients come with.
Right.
If we can understand that clearly, I think anything and everything is possible.
Right. So apart from that, there could be the sales, the doing the research part. There are client and stakeholder engagements, maybe the sales and marketing part is also involved. So essentially, overall, it's a holistic ecosystem of doing anything and everything when you're part of those profiles, not just doing maybe a construction part or maybe a sales part. There are a lot of things which are happening right now.
Absolutely. So I spoke about the soft skill. The technicality is always there. Until otherwise you are like expert in that particular area with in-depth knowledge of the market. What we say about the market is if you are going to take about one particular city like a Mumbai or a Bangalore, is massive. So one cannot be an expert in the whole city.
Right.
So it needs to be a hyper local. The guy is going to be expert in that particular locality, and in that particular locality also the segments varies. Like real estate is the ocean. Like you have various asset class. Like you have a commercial, you have residential, you have rent dealing assets. You want to lease a particular space. So one needs to be expert in that particular area with the nuances of such asset class, and go back to the client and understand the requirements, and then present his own case.
Right.
That's how it's done.
Sure. So you happen to be an RICS, recent graduate there.
Yeah.
And while you have been in part of the system for a longer time, help us understand how RICS happened, and you being part of the conference today, how have been your experience?
Absolutely. I'm grateful for RICS for graduating me as a member. MRICS, of course, I graduated on a senior membership as a valuation segment, but predominantly I looked RICS for ethics and transparency, because our profession calls for this more than any other profession. So what I practice over a period of a decade, I needed some kind of an accreditation for this, and what a best way than to acquire a membership in a prestigious institute like RICS, which says that, which again reinforces that you are bound to be ethics, and you have to practice that ethics not only for that particular transaction but throughout your life. So for that one main reason, I had to become a member with RICS.
Sure. And how have been your experience beyond after becoming an RICS in that context?
Absolutely. See, the people whom I would have never imagined to meet, I'm meeting them. So that's something, and like-minded. So everybody here wanted to be very transparent. They wanted to do the best practice. They want to bring the best across the table, and that's something which I've never, maybe I would have not, beyond my market, I would have not met them.
I mean, that's those are the key benefits when you be part of such kind of conferences or events. You get to meet like-minded people and engage in transact in some or other shape and form. And you might have attended a lot of those panel discussions. Any feedback in terms of the content which is being discussed, and the panel discussions, the quality of the discussions that you've had?
The quality is absolutely fantastic. There's no doubt about it. The panelist was star-studded panelist, and I literally flew from Bangalore. And thanks to you guys, because you put up the venue right next to the airport. I came in, I'm just checking out. So it's been one of the best day when it comes to knowing about the future of real estate. See, what has happened, everybody knows. What's going to happen is what people are wanting to know. And what a great way to know through the horse's mouth, where these are all the movers and shakers of the real estate industry.
Right.
And we had one of the best panelists today. Thanks to you guys.
Glad. And probably we'll look at the advice when you coming from so much of experience in the industry. What is those few things that you think that you could have done better, and might as well give an advice to the young professionals who are planning to join the sector?
See, what I would recommend for the youngsters is look what you can give back than what you want to get back. So the more you think about giving back to the client, giving back to your fraternity, like how you can help them, what is the benefit? First think about the benefit of others than about yourself. So I think that will put you in a better spot in terms of understanding exactly how you can benefit them. So the more benefit you pass it on to the person attached to your business, I think you will get it back. That's one thing which I think the present generation lacks, that patience and tolerance, where they look at if I have to, they actually fill in the gaps. they don't want to spend more time. See, this is a cost, like, more than the cost of money, it's a cost of time.
Right.
Coming and attending such events. But imagine you come and spend a day and try and take back some of the insights to your market. That itself is amazing.
Right, and the contribution that you make and the impact that you make,
Absolutely.
to be able to pass on that knowledge, really incredible in that sense. Great to hear from you, and it was wonderful discussion. I'm hopeful that people will make most out of it from the conversation. And thank you very much for the insights that you've shared.
Thank you.